Do not worry about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. The Word of God is not just advice, it is a command, inviting us to set aside all worries and burdens weighing on our hearts and turn to God in absolute trust. In moments of helplessness, when everything seems out of control, it is precisely the time to pause and pray. Do not let worries about work, family, or the future make us forget that God is always present and ready to listen to our prayers. Jesus, in his Sermon on the Mount, also reminded us clearly, do not worry about tomorrow. Each day has enough trouble of its own. It is easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of thoughts about the future and the unpredictable. But God calls us to live fully in the present day, savoring each moment he has given and trusting that he will provide for all our needs. Worrying changes nothing, it only exhausts us. God does not ask us to control everything but to trust in his providence. When we feel weak and anxiety takes hold of our hearts, the words of St. Paul resonate as profound comfort. If God is for us, who can be against us? With God on our side, nothing and no one can defeat us. He is our unparalleled strength, protector, and source of infinite peace. Entrusting ourselves to God is not an act of weakness but of powerful faith, recognizing that we are not alone on this journey. He will guide us through every challenge and hardship, leading us to a bright future he has prepared for us. From worry to trust, a journey to a peaceful heart. There are days when our hearts feel heavy, our minds racing with countless thoughts. Will everything go well tomorrow? Will I have the strength to overcome the challenges ahead? Worry is like a rushing river, pulling us away from the shores of peace. But do you know? A single moment of surrender can calm the waters, revealing the tranquil shore before your eyes. Worry is not an enemy but a signal. It's time to stop and look upward. In the most helpless moments, you can choose a turning point. Either continue fretting over what you cannot control or gently place it into the hands of the one who controls all things. Jesus reminds us, do not worry about anything. Present your requests to God. Philippians chapter 4 verse 6. His words are a tender invitation. Give me your burdens, and I will carry them for you. Surrender is not neglect but trusting in God, much like a child's absolute faith in a parent's embrace. It is when we bring all our worries before him, confident that he will arrange everything for the best. Look at Mary, our mother. At the Annunciation, she did not worry about what the future might bring. Instead, she responded with profound trust. Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Her surrender opened the way to salvation for all humanity. Are you ready to entrust all your worries to God? Try pausing for a moment, laying every burden at his feet, and feel the lightness he offers. Peace is waiting for you, right where faith begins. Prayer, the gateway to drawing closer to God. Have you ever felt lost amidst the storms of life? In those moments, prayer becomes your anchor, a bridge that brings your soul closer to the love and power of God. Prayer is not just fleeting words but an invisible thread that connects the human heart to God, who loves and understands us more than we know ourselves. In moments of deep anxiety, we often feel powerless, as if nothing is within our control. Yet, Jesus taught, pray without ceasing. Prayer is not about changing God's will but transforming our hearts, opening them to receive and trust. Like Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, kneeling and saying, My Father, not as I will, but as you will, Matthew 26:39, it is in prayer that he found the strength to face the cross. Prayer is not a duty but a precious gift from God, an invitation to step into his presence. When you lift up your worries, joys, or even your tears, you hand over the key to your heart. God then opens the door to peace, light, and hope. Take a few moments each day to pray. You don't need eloquent words, just a sincere heart saying, Lord, I trust in you. Each small prayer becomes like stepping stones guiding you through challenges toward his peace. Do not hesitate to start, for God awaits you in the silence, where your heart will find true comfort and strength. Shining examples. A journey of surrender in the light of faith. Life sometimes pushes us into seemingly inescapable circumstances, where pain and helplessness cloud our souls. Yet, there are individuals who have stood firm amidst adversity, their lives shining examples of surrender, illuminated by the light of faith. These examples inspire us, guiding us through trials with unwavering trust. Consider Mary, the humble servant of God. When she received the angel's announcement, she had no idea what trials awaited her. Instead of fear or avoidance, Mary responded, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord." Luke chapter 1 verse 38. Her yes was not just an act of trust but a living testimony to a heart fully surrendered to God's plan. Look at Job, who lost everything yet remained steadfast in faith. In his anguish, he did not complain or blame but proclaimed, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." From the depths of his loss, Job found solace and strength in surrender, trusting that everything was in God's hands. And St. Paul, who endured countless hardships, from imprisonment to peril, yet declared, "I can do all things through him who gives me strength." Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. Rooted in unshakable faith, Paul became a powerful witness to God's love and might. These shining examples are not just to be admired but serve as invitations for us to learn surrender. Ask yourself, can you lay your burdens in God's hands? Remember, surrender is not an act of weakness but a profound strength that opens the door for God to work in your life. When we look at these examples, we are encouraged to walk forward in faith, trusting that every trial will pass and that God's light will always accompany us. Letting go of worry, a journey to peace through faith. Worry is like an uninvited guest, persistent and unwilling to leave, weighing down our hearts and clouding our minds. Have you ever wondered why you allow worry to dictate your life when there is a safe haven where all your burdens can be surrendered? We are not alone on this journey. Jesus Christ has paved the way to true peace, a path of trust and faith. First, pause and look deeply into your heart. Worry is not an enemy to avoid but a signal reminding us of our need for God's help. Acknowledging our anxieties, admitting our insecurities, and embracing our vulnerabilities is not failure but the beginning of liberation. Prayer is the bridge connecting our troubled soul to God's loving heart. Speak to Him in your sincerest words. Lord, I cannot overcome this on my own. I entrust everything into your hands. A simple prayer can unlock the door for God's light to flood in. Never forget that God is present in the sacraments. Whether attending Mass, receiving the Eucharist, or kneeling before the Blessed Sacrament, we are not merely performing a ritual but stepping into God's living presence. Here, our hearts find healing, and His peace washes over every storm within us. Above all, learn to live in the present moment. Worry clings to the unchangeable past or the uncertain future. Jesus taught us, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Matthew chapter 6 verse 34. By focusing on the now, we not only release fear but also recognize the extraordinary grace God grants us in each moment. Faith is not an escape from life's challenges but a compass guiding us through them with inner peace. Entrusting everything to God does not mean giving up. It is an act of strength and affirmation that He will direct all things according to His will. And God's will is always what is best for our souls. Are you ready to step out of the shadows of worry and into the light of trust? Try letting go of your burdens, entrusting them entirely to God, and allowing Him to lead you on a path to peace. Trust, the key to true peace. Trust is not merely an act but an art of living, a call to release burdens and open our hearts to God's grace. We often strive to control everything, from the smallest plans to our grandest aspirations, only to find ourselves trapped when things do not unfold as we hoped. This is where trust comes in, a guiding light leading us out of the maze of anxiety. Trust is not a sign of weakness or surrender. On the contrary, it is the courage to admit that we are not omnipotent and that God, with His infinite love, can achieve far beyond our imagination. When we trust, we lose nothing but gain peace, a peace unshaken by any adversity. Remember, trust is the path to freedom. Freedom from fear and the helplessness that comes when life feels out of control. God does not promise an easy road, but He assures us that every trial has purpose and meaning. Each step, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to grow in faith. God's will is a mystery, yet it holds transformative power. Sometimes, what seems like loss is a gateway to something greater. Mary's yes to God opened the way to salvation for humanity. Job, despite losing everything, trusted in God and was blessed beyond measure. These lives are living testimonies to the power of trust. So why not try trusting? Lift the weight off your shoulders and offer it to God. Let Him handle what you cannot control. Believe that in surrendering everything to Him, you will find not only peace but also a life filled with hope and purpose. The call to peace. Place your complete trust in God. Life is filled with trials and challenges, and at times it feels as though we are crushed under the weight of pressure, anxiety, and fear. Yet, in those darkest moments, we can find a guiding light, the loving and peaceful invitation from Jesus Christ. He is not only our source of hope but also the refuge of peace for weary souls. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28. Jesus speaks these words not lightly, but as a profound promise from the heart of one who lived and suffered for us. His invitation comes not because we are strong or deserving but because He knows the pain, worry, and insecurity we bear. He calls us not only to find comfort but to receive the peace that only He can provide. In life, there are moments when we feel utterly exhausted, as though we cannot carry on. But it is in these very moments that Jesus becomes the sole source of strength for our souls. When we surrender to Him, we are not simply abandoning our worries. We are placing our absolute trust in His care and guidance. Entrusting your burdens to God is not an act of giving up. It is a powerful affirmation of faith in His presence and power. Jesus does not leave us alone. He walks with us through every step, even in our most painful times. Surrendering to Him does not mean ceasing all effort. It means opening our hearts, being ready to receive His help, and trusting that He will do what is best for us. This is an unshakable belief that God will never abandon us, no matter how challenging the trials we face. So, do not let the anxieties or burdens of life continue to weigh you down. Let God, the Great Shepherd, guide you through these challenges. Trust in His unconditional love and care, for He is always ready to support and protect you in all circumstances. Remember, peace is not about having everything become easy. It is the steadfastness within your soul, knowing that no matter how turbulent life becomes, God is always there, holding your hand through every step of the journey. Do not hesitate any longer. Let God enter your heart today and experience a peace that surpasses all worries. Only God can offer you the profound serenity that nothing else can replace. When life becomes overwhelming, and the trials seem insurmountable, remember the words of Jesus. Come to me, and I will give you rest. He is always waiting for you, always calling you to come to Him in faith and complete surrender. Lord, grant us the strength, wisdom, and patience to overcome all the trials in life, through your infinite love and unceasing protection. Amen.